morning, everyone. Happy Hump Day. Welcome to Fox 5 on Fox Local. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Alex Whitler. We're just jumping right on into your news this hour with a live look at the White House. Our country has officially entered the longest federal shutdown in U.S. history. Thank you so much for being here. Again, my name's Alex Whitler, and we are live streaming for you wherever you do so on the Fox 5 Atlanta YouTube channel, especially is what makes this a news conversation. So please leave me a comment, and I can see it in real time. If you have a question or something really resonates with you, I'd be happy to address it. We're also live streaming at fox5atlanta.com and the free Fox Local app. But back to our top story now. The government shutdown has just topped 35 days. That was the last record. We're up to 36 now. The Senate once again failed to pass a funding bill last night, and the ripple effects are just continuing, from people trying to afford dinner at the table to people trying to go on a work trip or for vacation. It really is starting to strain here. It's not clear if the Senate will vote again today, but President Trump did call Republican senators to a White House breakfast just this morning. If you were watching Good Day Atlanta, you heard us mention some of this. Lawmakers will need to craft an entirely new resolution to extend the funding timeline to end that standoff. So let's see if we can listen in to what some of the president had to say earlier today.
Millions of Americans are going to be without SNAP benefits, and I will say about SNAP benefits, so when I was president, we had $7 billion worth, and now they have many times that, because these benefits were given to anybody that asked, and they're up to, I hear, just many times, $47 billion. So it wasn't the purpose of SNAP. It was for people that really had problems, down and out, people that really had problems. But during Biden, they gave it to anybody that wanted it. I think it's something you have to talk about because the numbers are incredible. But countless public servants are now not being paid, and the air traffic control system is under increasing strain. We must get the government back open soon, and really immediately. We have to get it open. We have the hottest economy we've ever had, and it's affecting the stock market now a little bit. But the stock market, as of Friday, has hit many record highs during the last 9 months.
On part of a conversation that the president had this morning, a special breakfast aimed at addressing the government shutdown. I want to give you just a quick update here as we continue to give you news throughout the morning. We are keeping our eyes peeled for a press conference that would be an update on that UPS crash. So we're just going to keep our eyes open for that. So as soon as it becomes available, we'll pass that information along to you. But we do have another top story for you that is related to the government shutdown. We're talking about Goodr, a company and nonprofit that you've heard us mention quite a bit here in Fox 5's airwaves, either on the air or streaming. So essentially, families are still navigating the government shutdown, especially since this reversal on SNAP benefits, right? You remember there were 2 judges last week who said we have to still fund SNAP at least 50%. The president yesterday said he's not going to do that until the government shutdown ends. So now the Atlanta-based company Goodr is meeting with students quite literally where they are. They're going to Alcovey High School along with Amazon to have this full-service grocery store that's available to anyone who has the need. So the on-campus market will provide eligible students and families with monthly access to fresh produce, proteins, and household staples at no cost. So I'm interested in learning more about this, especially because of that word monthly. So let's bring in Fox 5 photojournalist Chris Rosenthal, who is there now. Chris, good morning. What are you learning about this whole setup?
Yeah, good morning. They're just getting underway, just about to, do a little ceremony to unveil this this new store, this new free store that they have actually located here in the school. I just got to go down and have a little tour of the store, and they're still setting it up. This will open a little bit later in November. They've actually been working on this for a while, even since before the SNAP benefits have become a concern for people. people. But the idea is to address food insecurity. Students can come. I talked to the principal earlier. He says students can come once a week and get get a bag of food, something that can feed their families. It's not designed to completely replace going to the grocery store, but something to supplement, and all kinds of food items. There was fresh fruit down there, fresh vegetables, boxed foods. There's a frozen section. Something to just kind of help some of the families here, have a little bit of food. It's like you said, this is meeting them where they're at. This is coming to the schools. The parents can come, the students can come. There are about 1,800 students at this school, and they will have access to this free store provided by Goodr and Amazon.
I have a couple more questions for you, and if you don't know the answer just yet because the event is happening now, I completely understand. But when officials say that this will happen monthly, is that because that was already going to happen, or did they say that they're doing this in anticipation of the government shutdown lasting even longer than anyone would want it to?
Yeah, this is something they'd actually been planning even before this. It just happens to be very timely that this is going to open, with the situation that we have now with the government shutdown and concerns over SNAP benefits. But this is actually something they've been planning for a few months now, getting this set up.
It makes a lot of sense. We've covered Goodr events for years now. I can think of some of the first times that I've been a reporter out there covering some of their events. So this really does help their initiative, which is to make sure that no one goes hungry so long as they're around. But can you give me a little bit of the lay of the land? Where are you? It looks like a library right now, but I don't see the food. Maybe that's just my eyesight. Walk me through what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they're doing the ceremony up here in the library. This is they'll have some speakers and they'll talk a little bit more about the service they'll be providing. The actual store is downstairs. It's in the basement. I got to go down there a little earlier and tour it. It's actually we're out in Covington now, and where it is in the building, technically speaking, I can't really get a live signal from there. So, but it's in a nice place down in the basement, and it's a place where students can go. They do have to sign up a time to come and get food from that from that location, from that little store. It's a fairly small room, but enough room with with several racks of food and a freezer there, and some racks for produce as well.
Yeah, Goodr does a good job of making these pop-up shops look like what they are, a real grocery store. That said, I wonder if you know anything about what would make a student eligible to receive some help like this.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's actually open to anybody. There are about 1,800 students here, all would be eligible. They do, like I said, it's not something where you just go down there and grab something. You have to, you have to sign up. There's somebody there that's going to kind of administer the store, and you do have to sign up to go down, get your food. It's you're eligible to come by once a week. You or your parents or the students' parents can come by once a week and get something for the family.
Yeah, is it that the prices are discounted? Forgive me if that's an obvious question, but.
This is these are as I say, it's free. So these are free. So
yeah, that's a huge deal. I can only imagine. I guess that's why I ask it, because sometimes these things just sound a little too good to be true. You're giving 1,800 students some free food. That's a really good cause, even before the government shut down.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not designed to replace your trip to the grocery store.
Of course.
This is just as a supplemental.
Yeah, and I'm sure those families appreciate it, especially as we inch closer to the holiday season. We know so many families are trying to make sure that their turkey looks good on that table, hoping that they could even have a turkey. So thank you so much, Chris. We appreciate it. I do, though, want to point out that we wish we could show you the basement grocery store itself. You mentioned that the surface is so spotty. Just our luck. That's the way technology goes. We can have these live conversations, but let there be one lack of a bar of service, and we can't show the most visual part of the story. Yeah. All right, Chris, we'll see you next time. Thanks again. So we do, though, want to keep you updated on what's happening locally with elections. So you probably heard by now, Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens has solidified his job for another 4 years. And it really wasn't even a close race here. He took home 85% of the vote, easily defeating 3 challengers. Mark Teichner has the story.
Well, this wasn't expected to be a close election. In the end, we got what we were thinking as the mayor ran away with things. During his speech to supporters, he laid out his vision for the next 4 years. A jubilant Andre Dickens addresses supporters after winning another term as Atlanta mayor. Easily fending off 3 challengers, Mayor Dickens was declared victorious minutes after the polls closed.
Our future is bright, Atlanta. One city with one bright future. And I thank you for putting your faith in me for another 4 years.
The mayor ticked off a list of accomplishments from his first term: 12,000 affordable housing units built, 44% drop in the murder rate, summer jobs for 14,000 young people, and 30,000 potholes filled.
You can clap for that. Don't let one get you down. We got 30,000 taken care of.
In the next 4 years, the mayor wants to bring down the cost of housing, fight income inequality, keep crime under control, and support efforts to eliminate food deserts.
We're on a mission to make Atlanta the best city in the nation to raise a child. That's our North Star.
To do that, the mayor vows to build on what he calls the group project of Atlanta.
Are you ready to show this nation that the South still got something to say?
The mayor congratulated all the folks who won city council races and said he's looking forward to working with those folks during his upcoming term. Reporting from City Hall, I'm Mark Teichner, Fox 5 News.
All right, Mark, thank you for that. Well, from Atlanta's mayor to New York's mayor, let's talk about it. A historic win. We're talking about Zohran Mamdani, who just won the race for New York's top politician, and he's only 34 years old. That makes him the first Muslim to run New York City. He's also the youngest to run New York City. He's also the first Indian American mayor, ushering in a new chapter of leadership, again, for the nation's largest city. So that said, we understand that he is speaking right now, trying to give us a sense about his cabinet picks. So let's see if we can listen in.
My mother when I'm in trouble, and I'm so excited to be with you all today. I first want to start off by congratulating our mayor-elect Mamdani on an impressive and amazing campaign and victory last night. In my day job, I lead the New York Foundling, one of the city's largest and oldest social service organizations. I previously served across 2 administrations as the Deputy Mayor for Health and Human Services, Director of the Office of Management and Budget, Deputy Commissioner for the Administration for Children's Services, among other roles. There's one thing I've been reminded of in this work, time and time again. It all comes down to economics. Paying your rent, putting food on the table, taking care of your kids. That's what New Yorkers care deep down about, and that's what the mayor-elect has so successfully tapped into. It's my honor to join the mayor-elect and this incredible group of women who epitomize public service to make sure that we bring the very best, brightest, and most principled people to deliver for our fellow New Yorkers on this moment of promise. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you all. I want to start off by just congratulating our mayor-elect Mamdani on an incredible victory and a just remarkable campaign this last year. I think what we saw last night was New Yorkers not...
You were just listening in to a press conference as New York ushers in its new mayor-elect, Zohran Mamdani. I want to give you just a little bit of some background information about that race, because it was one that was said to really check the pulse of American politics right now. So he ran as a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist against a familiar face, Cuomo, who was running as an independent. He did also beat out the Republican candidate, Sliwa. So all of that said, it'll be interesting to see who his cabinet picks are, as it sounds like he's going to announce that during that very high-profile meeting. And Fox 5 will keep you posted on it all because, again, that was one of several races that were supposed to be indications of how Americans feel right now at this stage in President Donald Trump's second term, but also what the political landscape could be like next year during the midterm elections. We do have other local stories that we want to keep you abreast of. Unfortunately, this is another shooting. So let me go ahead and get my notes and my bearings here. Atlanta police say there was an attempted robbery that may have led to a deadly shooting, and it happened on Auburn Avenue. So this happened overnight at the Bethel Apartments, and Lindsay Tuman has all the latest information for us.
Atlanta police have released pretty limited details about what exactly happened here this morning, but what we do know is the investigation took place inside the Bethel Towers apartments right here off Auburn Avenue in the Sweet Auburn neighborhood. Police got the call a few minutes after midnight about a report of a person who'd been shot here. When investigators got on the scene, they say they found a 39-year-old man who'd been struck multiple times by gunfire. He was taken to Grady Memorial Hospital where he passed away. Now, while at the hospital, Atlanta police also were notified about another man who was brought in to Grady Memorial as a walk-in. They say that he also had several gunshot injuries. That man was in a stable but critical condition, and they do believe that he was also tied to this same incident. Back on the scene, Atlanta police were here for several hours processing where this happened, which they say was in a hallway of the apartments. They do say that they talked to several witnesses, but they're still trying to piece together what exactly led to that gunfire. Take a listen.
So right now we're just working with our crime scenes on scene. It appears there was an exchange of gunfire. We're not sure of the motive or the circumstances around that. We're still working with that. We've been in touch with family as well for the decedent.
At this time, Atlanta police have not released the name of either person involved. They also have not said if anybody is facing any charges at this time. And again, they still say they're working to discover the exact circumstances behind that gunfire. As soon as we get those details, of course, we'll keep you updated. But for now, that's the very latest reporting in downtown. I'm Lindsay Tuman for Fox 5 News.
Okay, Lindsay, we appreciate the latest there. We do still have several other important stories to talk you through. One you might not have expected. We're talking about a potential volcano eruption in Hawaii, but we're also going to talk about a different kind of eruption. You might have seen explosive images of a UPS plane crash that happened just yesterday in Louisville, Kentucky. We've got all the latest for you right after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Fox 5 on Fox Local. Would you take a look at these images happening right now? The Kilauea volcano in Hawaii is overflowing with hot lava. So there were some models that forecast an eruption window for the beginning of this month, essentially the first week of November, and it checks out. It happened right on time. That said, we do want to focus on our local weather with Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Jonathan Stacy, who is joining us now. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah.
Welcome to work. You know, I like to say.
We are here. There are a lot of people who would have liked to time out their Hawaiian vacations to be able to see that spectacle there. And an eruption that started back in last December, and basically an eruption has a series of episodes, and we're seeing the latest episode happen there as that volcano continues to vent. Pretty impressive.
It is. Gosh, when I see those images, I just think of the worst, but you seem to be very calm about this. What have you heard, if anything?
At this time, there's no particular threat to land or property. One of the things that is interesting about volcanoes that most people are not aware of is that they can be forecasted. You know, the forecasting is not the same way that we forecast the temperature or the net surrounding wet weather, but you can figure out the window here. But once again, this has been an ongoing eruption, an entire event, not a series of events that has been happening since like December 24th of last year, 2024. So this is something that we'll continue to see. And so, you know, this will last for a couple more days potentially. And then, you know, there will be a resting period and then more venting will happen. And then obviously, if it were to stay in venting mode for way too long, the lava will continue to flow and there could be some antecedent issues that come as a result of that. But people down there know exactly where they're located. They're located near the Kilauea. So obviously there's not a lot that takes place. Obviously for recreational purposes, no one is enjoying this up close or embracing it.
Well, I know what you mean, but also just to put it candidly, it's almost like watching a train wreck, right? You just can't help but be drawn to it like moths to a flame. Those images we could play all day, but I know you also have some stuff for us, some updates in our local weather.
Yeah, so we're embarking on another warm day here. We're already at 67 degrees and we haven't touched midday yet. So as we get into the afternoon hours, it doesn't take a smart scientist to tell you this. You're going to be in the 70s. We're going back there today. Temperatures will run some 5+ degrees above average across the area. Here's a look at the numbers and how things will pan out over the next few hours. Look at this. 70s, and more 70s until that sun falls, and it falls fast these days. That 5 o'clock hour sunset is a wee bit depressing.
Hey, it depends on the side of the coin because I appreciate the lights being out early.
I know you do. You don't have to shut the curtain so tightly.
Yeah.
In terms of today's high temperature, we'll aim for a high of 75 degrees here in Atlanta. I think most communities will at least touch 70. That may be an exception as you get up into the mountains, but overall, it should be a fairly nice, very October-like day. By night, temperatures will return to the 40s as we did this morning, but we don't stay there for long because they make another grand comeback for Thursday. I think your Thursday is going to turn out to be one of the prime days of the week, just like today. We'll throw some clouds in the mix as we get deeper into the week, specifically going into Friday. Let's go ahead and run this model here because high pressure has been hanging out. A couple fronts are running through the area, but the front that comes through on Friday has the ability to deliver some showers out ahead of it. More clouds than anything you can see. It's a quick moving shot of rain. And then we don't quite recover with high pressure for Saturday. I think you'll begin with some sunshine and then you'll be kind of amazed at how quickly the clouds fill back in, and that sets us up for another frontal passage as we get into the day. Saturday evening and possibly Sunday, but models are indicating that we could clear this thing out of here by the time we actually get to Sunday, so we're not greatly concerned. And what we're also not greatly concerned about is this being a prolific rainmaker, because it won't be.
Good.
Maybe a 1/10 of an inch of rainfall. So the ground is still parched across our area. We still need some rainfall, but we got a healthy dose last week, so you know, we'll take what we can get from Mother Nature this week, but overall, I think the big part of the forecast is what is days away, 5 days away to be specific, and that is a steep downturn in temperatures into the 30s. Alex, you have, I felt like I think you've had your eyes on this more than even the forecasters have.
I just would rather not have to be completely bundled up as I head into work. If I have to, okay, but gosh.
You would think that someone who has spent as much time up north, specifically Chicago, as you have, would be maybe not embracing of what is to come, but would be more than prepared.
People don't like to be cold in Chicago either. You know, it's just they live there, so they have to deal with it. I feel like my skin has thinned.
Oh,
I knew you were going to say that. I feel like I have become a Georgia peach.
We're going to test it. We're going to test it out
this time around next week.
An early test, a November test. There were times, you know, I don't want to sound like an old person, but you and I have been here a few years now, and I can't remember which year it was. That's why I'm prefacing
Okay, I'm
like
listening. I'm wondering where you're going with it.
There was a time where we hit 80 degrees like the last day of December.
I remember that. Oh my gosh, that was your first year here.
Yeah.
I was anchoring weekends. You were on the team.
Okay, so you remember,
I remember it perfectly because I remember we were going, gosh, it's hot and it's Christmas.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's like, okay, is this what we're going to do?
Literally.
Yeah, is this what we're going to do? And I don't rule out that happening again. Obviously, that was an anomaly, but just because we're having this really stark downturn at the beginning of November does not exactly mean or foretell that the winter will be harsh.
Okay.
That's more of a La Nina, El Nino factor. El Nino obviously setting in this year, but still with that, we have seen the pattern shift regardless of what Enzo effect is taking over. So we'll have to see how it all pans out, but prepare for a deep chill next week.
Yeah, I'll have the tights ready, the wrap dresses, undershirts, all.
You know, for me, it's gonna be sweaters. Yeah, these times we're gonna go ahead and hang them up.
They look good.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. We do still have quite a bit of news to keep you guys up to date on. I want to take you live to a press conference that's happening about that UPS plane crash. Obviously, this is zoomed in very tight on those microphones. We anticipate some authorities coming up in just a matter of minutes to give us an update on that deadly crash. So if you're not familiar, let me fill you in. Essentially, there was a UPS plane that was heading for Honolulu from Louisville, and it was doing so at the company's global aviation hub. You're looking at these images of plumes of smoke. Here's why. There was a terrifying fireball that erupted not long after this crash. There it goes. It looks like something that you would see in a video game or an action movie. Those flames shot directly from the plane's left wing before exploding into the sky. The fire then spread to a building at the end of the runway. And again, I said this was a deadly crash. Unfortunately, the FAA says 3 people on the plane were killed. There were about 11 hurt. At last check, I heard there were 9 total deaths. That's up from the 7 that we reported earlier this morning on Good Day Atlanta. And of that tally, 4 of the people who died weren't even on the plane. So that tells you just how massive of a fire, of a crash this was. Of course, we've covered plenty of different aviation experiences that have been very scary for people over the past year or so, this just being the latest one. So I do note 2 other things of note here. We have a statement and we also have a quote that I want you to hear. So let me touch base with our producers to see what we have available. It sounds like we have a quote from Governor Andy Beshear.
Anybody who has seen the images in the video know how violent this crash is. And there are a lot of families that are going to be waiting and wondering for a period of time.
So again, you were just listening to a recent update, but we expect to see another update from Governor Andy Beshear. That's what you were seeing at the beginning of this chunk of news when you saw those microphones zoomed in super close. Hopefully we'll hear from more officials with more information on this crash in just a couple of minutes. Now let's take a look at this. We have some information from UPS, a quote directly from them. I'm going to read it for you. It says, "We are terribly saddened by the accident tonight in Louisville. Our heart heartfelt thoughts are with everyone involved. UPS is committed to safety, the safety of our employees, our customers, and the communities we serve. This is particularly true in Louisville, that statement says, home to our airline and thousands of UPSers. So they go on to say we are engaged with the National Transportation Safety Board's investigation, or the NTSB, as many of you know it, of that accident. And we're staying in close contact with the Federal Aviation Administration. We'll work tirelessly, the organization says, with the state and local authorities on response efforts. So we will have much more on that as soon as it becomes available, but we're going to take a quick pause and we'll see you right after this. Welcome back to Fox 5 on Fox Local. Alex Whitler here with that update as promised on what happened in Louisville. Let's just listen in to hear what authorities have to say.
Have in fact gotten the situation to where the shelter in place is now so much smaller than anyone would have predicted it would be at this time. Really incredible work by the fire departments. I want to start with the Okolona Fire Department, the main department responding. They've done an incredible job. The Louisville Fire Department, the Louisville Airport Fire Department, Fern Creek Fire Department, Pleasure Ridge Park Fire Department, Fairdale, Anchorage Middletown, Jeffersontown, Zoneton, Mount Washington, Nichols, Lebanon Junction, Southeast Bullitt, LaGrange, Simpsonville, Lexington Fire Department, Bardstown, and Shepherdsville Fire Department. In addition, extra foam to fight the fire came from the Lexington Airport, from CVG, and from Bardstown. In total, over 50 trucks responded. Again, a surge of resources to respond to a very significant explosion and fire. But what that does is it means that all of those available resources are pushed to the site. But through careful planning and through more efforts, we made sure we backfilled the departments that were at the scene. So we want to thank the following fire departments for backfilling to make sure that everyone else was protected during the surge of resources. We want to thank the Vine Grove Fire Department.
You were just listening to authorities give an update on that horrendous crash that happened in Louisville, Kentucky. If you haven't seen the images, I encourage you to go to the Fox Local app, where we have posted avoid it. We're trying to be respectful because this was a deadly crash. If I could just take some time to acknowledge those of you who are watching on our Fox 5 Atlanta YouTube channel, thank you for being mindful and present as part of this news conversation. I see that someone commented, and I'm going to quote them here. They say that crash was hands down one of the craziest things ever caught on camera. They say, my God, my thoughts and prayers go out to the fact that they're hoping that they don't have any packages on that flight. Just a lot going on, from the deaths to the impacts that this could have going down the road. Thank you again for watching. We appreciate your time as always. Our next big story of the hour is the government shutdown. It's now historic. The last time we had a government shutdown of this magnitude, it was 35 days. Today we've reached 36, and it's not clear if the Senate will vote again today. So President Trump did call on Republican senators to a White House breakfast this morning. And if I remember correctly, it was just the latest in an attempt to try to get our government back funded. You know that there's been this back and forth with SNAP benefits. First, there was the judges, 2 of them ruling the government must fund half of the benefits for people. Then yesterday, the Trump administration said, we're not doing that, at least not until the government is reopened. That said, there are a lot of local opportunities for people in need to try to get some food on the table. We talked to Chris Rosenthal a bit earlier about Goodr, which is partnering with Amazon and a local high school to make sure people have some food. That, ironically, was unrelated to the government shutdown. They were already working on those sorts of initiatives, just happened to be in the right place at the right time. But now we're focusing on another initiative, Hosea Helps. You've probably heard that name plenty of times if you've lived in the Atlanta area for any significant amount of time. So let's go ahead and check in now with Eli Jordan, who is listening in to what Hosea Helps is doing.
They're going to start right now.
In this case. Good morning to you, Eli.
Hey, Alex, good morning. Yeah, all that uncertainty, is causing a line of cars to be outside of a Hosea Helps here. Normally, they'll help about 10 families a day whenever they have, they're open on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, helping out 10 families. Well, every Wednesday now. Last Wednesday, they helped out about 100. They have 100 cars lined up out here today that have been out there since 8 a.m. this morning, and the gates don't open it up until noon. And so, but, they got people out here to organize everything, and they're seeing a big influx of volume. And I'm here with Corey Kimber of Hosea Helps. Oh, you changed purses on me. Elizabeth Omalami, how you doing? So I need to give a mic to you too. So Ms. Omalami, just tell me, we're live right now. So tell me,
I've been nice. I've been having these interviews, being amicable, but right now I'm so mad I could just scream.
How was that, the meeting today?
The meeting was ridiculous at the Fulton County Commissioners. They got $164 million in a surplus, and they talking about giving every organization $50,000 in the middle of what they say is a crisis. That is ridiculous. It makes me want my father, Hosea Williams, to be here, because I feel like I've been stabbed in the back at this point, and that nobody really cares about these people. They keep talking about Washington is going to pay partial. That's not happening. So we at Hosea Helps, we need $500,000 just to get through November.
So last week, Commissioner Pitts said he was going to ask the commission to sign off on the county manager releasing emergency funds of close to $1 million.
Yes, but you got to dig down deep into that, because today at the commission meeting I just left, they said that they wanted up to $1 million, probably around $750,000. Why are they penny pinching the poor of this county? Why are they penny pinching the senior citizens? I don't understand it, because it's an emergency, and they don't see it that way down at the commissioners.
Ms. Omalami, did they release any funds, though?
No, not before I left. My father used to say, Hosea Williams used to say, I see so much you do, I can't hear anything you say. And that's the mode that we're in. we may not even be able to serve this people that's lining up. They'll be there till 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. today. And then we do it again on November 7th and again on November 12th. And our inventory may not make it that far. We need help now.
So bottom line is, you guys are not going to see any funds that the Commissioner Pitts suggested last week?
I have no idea.
Came away from that meeting unhappy. With more questions than answers, I guess.
Yeah, and I haven't gotten any funds from the city of Atlanta. You know, I think.
How long before you guys are dried up and can't help anybody? How much longer
Well,
you got?
We can't pay the staff to do disaster relief, which is what this is, and run the organization. We are in dire need of the food because someone called and said we could come buy food. We don't have the funds to go buy food. You can't feed a family for $1. I don't know where that came from, but here they get 2 huge boxes of food, a turkey, and a case of water. So that's what we're doing. Each food box costs, each family gets $70 worth of food when they come here. So do people have to start dying before we do anything? Politics is not my forte. And being nice gets you nowhere. So we need to demand that these seniors don't die because of lack of food. And hungry children cannot learn. So they're going to school with no breakfast and probably have no dinner or something like Roman noodles and a hot dog. This is not what Atlanta's supposed to be.
And it's right here before the holidays, too, and the kids go on vacation. They don't have the funds for school lunches to rely on or anything like that.
For the kids to even be home.
Well, bottom line is, every Wednesday you guys are doubling up as long as you still have the funds to do it.
More than just Wednesday. People can come over here any day of the week and get some food.
But you're seeing a big influx, a bit higher volume now.
We're seeing double the volume of what we used to have going on a few weeks ago, even a month ago. So this back and forth, I'm not a yo-yo. I'm not going to be yes, no, yeah. I'm not going to play that game. I'm going to say, okay, you know what? Let me just focus on the people. And let me just focus on those who care enough to send some resources and knock out everything else.
So, thank you so much. I appreciate you stepping in. And I'll get that microphone from you real quick.
Okay.
Now, Alex, there you have president of Hosea Helps, Elizabeth Omalami, daughter of Hosea Williams, and she just got back from the county commission, where last week Commissioner Chair Pitts said he was going to ask the city county manager to release up to $1 million to help out, but apparently, and that was supposed to happen today, Wednesday morning, at their next commission meeting. And apparently, Mrs. Omalami came away from that meeting very unhappy, as you heard her.
Oh, we definitely did.
Express her feelings about it. And I think a lot of people are beginning, at the food banks are beginning to feel the squeeze because this government shutdown is lasting a lot longer than anybody anticipated. Alex?
We heard it from her ourselves. We have a quote on the bottom of the screen that says, do people have to start dying before we do anything? She essentially went on to say that Hosea Helps can't pay staff to help with this relief, and they can't afford the food. So that's obviously a developing story that we're going to stay on top of. Eli, we appreciate you asking those questions for us and having that very passionate conversation with Elizabeth Omalami. We do have another pivot for you all. This time we're talking about some news you can use, especially if you are diabetic. So let's give you the lay of the land here. A Georgia Tech freshman just got a green light from the FDA to move forward with a diabetes app. So let's bring on Drew Mendelo. He joins us live now to talk about this very impressive new app. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Of
course. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you said that you yourself have been diagnosed with diabetes. How did that happen? When did it come about?
Yeah, so it all happened 5 years ago. I was 13 at the time, and it was actually during the COVID times. I was realizing I was peeing more, and I was having an unnatural weight loss. So that's when I ended up going to the doctor and eventually getting rushed to the hospital. And that's where I found out I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. It was super overwhelming from the beginning. I had all this math calculation just thrown at me, this terminology I've never heard of before. It really was a lot at the beginning.
I can imagine. Well, you look good, you sound good, and you're doing good. So tell me about your app and how it helps people.
Yeah, so the app is called T1D1, which stands for Type 1 from Day One. And I created it I started working on it the day after I got home from the hospital when I was diagnosed. I saw the need for a free, easy-to-use app just to help manage your lives and make everything a little bit easier. And this app will help you calculate your insulin, track it, and then send it easily to your doctors, all while having your own customized settings. And when I originally made the app, it was for newly diagnosed, mainly kids and teenagers. But now I realized the broader audience that it reached, it found underserved populations, people who just choose not to have these fancier technologies, some people who don't have access to it or couldn't afford it. And it really has just made a huge impact that I never could have imagined at the beginning.
Oh, I bet. I haven't even met you except for just in this e-meeting, if you will. And I'm proud of you for turning your lemons into lemonade. So when can people download it? When does it become available?
Yeah, so it's actually available right now in both the App Store and the Google Play Store if you just search T1D1.
And it's free?
It is completely free, 100%, no ads.
Great work. Thank you so much, Drew, for your time. I know we had a lot of very difficult news to share with everyone, but you just served as a little glimmer of hope. We're excited for the future, thanks to people like you. Well, we will be right back. Yes, of course. We've got more news for you right after this. Let's talk some football now, shall we? Okay, we know it is football season, and many of you guys love college football specifically, so you're going to like this segment. Peach Bowl Incorporated President and CEO Gary Stokan is gracing us live this hour to discuss college football playoff rankings. Thank you so much for your time. We, as always, appreciate it.
Sure, Alex. Great time of the year with college football here in the capital of college football, Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, it really is. So starting this Tuesday, so just yesterday, you started going through the official release of these rankings. It's going to go on through December. So I want to start with this. Georgia is right now ranked at number 5 in the CFP rankings. How secure do you think their spot is, at least for right now?
Well, Georgia has huge opportunities. They've got a trap game going to Mississippi State this weekend after playing their arch rival in an emotional game down in Florida. And then coming back next week, they've got Texas at home, which is ranked in the top 11. So, this is a game they've got to go over to Starkville, Mississippi, where Mississippi State is very difficult to play over there. They've got to get that win. Then they've got to come home and beat Texas. And then they've got their arch rival, Georgia Tech, in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So Georgia can still move up in the rankings, even though they're fifth, beating a Texas team and a Georgia Tech team who are both ranked in the top 17. So Georgia could potentially play 3 of 5 games in Georgia and win the national championship. They could play Georgia Tech in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the SEC Championship in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl semifinal in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and then go down to Miami for the game down there in the national championship.
Yeah, you've already hinted at some of the ways Georgia can really come out on top here. I mean, naturally, you got to win. That's just the obvious answer, right? But what is it specifically that they need to do on the field? Have you noticed any weak links here, something that they need to start doubling down on?
Well, I give Kirby Smart a lot of credit. This team is very young, unlike the teams that won the national championship, where they had a lot of depth and a lot of senior leadership. They're very young, particularly in the defensive backfield. Gunnar Stockton is a gunslinger and a winner. He finds a way to win. Georgia and Kirby Smart and his coaches do a tremendous job at halftime because they've been losing on the short side of the stick most times going into halftime, and then they win the game in the second half. That's tough to do, and that takes a lot of adjustments by the coaching staff. But the players have to execute that and grind it out in the second half. And Georgia's been successful in doing that so far.
Let's pivot now and talk about Georgia Tech. Right now they rank number 17. So how nervous or not should Tech fans be at that initial ranking?
Well, again, similar to Georgia, Georgia Tech's got a lot of opportunity because Pitt is ranked in the top 25 as well. They've got a trap game going up to Boston College where they've got to be careful because Boston College is tough to play at home. They've got to win that game, then come home, and they've got Pitt at home. And again, Pitt's in the top 25. If Pitt beats Notre Dame, which is top 10 this weekend, then Pitt's going to jump up the board, and that would give Georgia Tech a great opportunity to move up if they were to beat Pitt at home. And then they've got Georgia in the game in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So that game is going to have huge implications, the Georgia Tech game, on the national landscape of the college football playoff.
Okay, they're telling me that we're running out of time, but I can't let you go without asking you, do you feel sentimental at all? I understand, congratulations, you're retiring soon. Is that correct?
Well, June 1st, I'll retire, and I looked up in the dictionary, and it said retirement is ceasing to work. And I've been in sports for 47 years, so I've never worked a day in my life. So I guess I can't retire because I won't cease to work because I haven't worked yet.
That was so beautiful. That just warmed my heart. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate
you, Alex.
it, Gary. We'll be
Appreciate
right
it.
back after this. Stick around. Turns out we're not coming back. We're going to stay right here. Instead, we're going to talk with Paul Milliken, who's got a really cool segment for you. Listen to this.
Well, if you have been watching Good Day Atlanta this morning, you know we were having the best morning at Earthy, which is a really unique lifestyle brand based right here in Metro Atlanta. Home, skin, body products, and they are all clean. That is very important. Behind me is a whole shelf of car diffusers, and you know I want to hang every one of these in my car. What do you think, Jen? Could I do like a little mixture of these in the car?
I think we can do a montage.
Why, I love it. That's what I want. So you told us before, but I'll ask you again. This entire brand was really formed because you became really cognizant of what you were putting on and in your body, right?
Yes, totally. So when I started with autoimmune disease, I had to take everything toxic out of my life. And that's kind of the premises of why Earthy was born.
And we should mention that doesn't just include the stuff, again, that you put on your body. It's also what's around you. For example, there are some candles and things out there that are not so great when they're burned,
They're
right?
definitely not so great, especially if you see the black soot. So that's why we use coconut wax and wooden wicks in our candles.
Yeah, so interesting and really kind of opens your mind, again, to what you have around the house. So let's talk about some of the products you have on this side. This is home care over here. What do you guys have?
So these are our habitat mists. So wherever you live, whether it's in your car or in your home or in your office, you have a habitat mist. And these are very strong, basically room sprays that you can use anywhere.
Oh, that's great for the office. I hadn't thought about that, but that's a really good idea.
Exactly. Yes. Help to keep that scent down.
Yeah. And then, of course, I've seen reed diffusers before, but these look a little bit different to me.
Yeah. So these are our natural willow reeds. So you can flip it upside down if you want the scent to be stronger.
Oh, okay. I like that. And then we go down. I know candles are probably a big part of your business. People love candles.
Especially this time of year. Yes.
Great gift idea. Yeah.
So these are our coconut wax candles with the wooden wick. So it has that nice crackling effect.
Oh, I love that. And again, something we've talked about all morning is that you can design your own version of any of these products. So you've got them with the signature scents here, which are great. But if you have something you really want, people can come in and customize the way all of this stuff smells.
Yes, they can come in and make their own custom scent, and we can put it in any product that we have.
Yeah, that happens back at that blend bar, which has got great labs. What a fun thing to do with your friends and family.
It totally is. People come in here and absolutely have the best time.
Amazing. Okay, last but not least.
So these are our plugins. I had to get clean plugins in my life.
Oh, yeah.
So they're great for small hallways or bathrooms. And then, of course, we pop up to our scent tower.
Yeah.
And so this is where you can scent large areas, about 1,000 to 1,500 square feet.
Okay, so this is if you had like a big office and you wanted the whole office.
Your home, anything like that. Yeah, and it's Bluetooth enabled. So.
Amazing. All right, well, again, this is the home side, and then the body and the skin is over there. Now, if people want to buy stuff for the holidays, you're going to make sure it's easy for them and it looks good. Talk about some of the gift ideas here.
That's right. So we actually have pre-made gifts that you can purchase online.
Okay.
Or you can customize a gift and then just add a different gift box.
Great.
And we do gifts for individual personal gifts. We do corporate gifting.
Oh.
Yeah, we actually engrave, if someone's interested, we engrave our wooden box with their logo if they want a corporate gift.
Yeah.
So anybody would absolutely love one of our clean gifts.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. And then is this what I think it is with the numbers?
Yeah, that's our advent calendar. So that's a new addition for us. It's a 7-day advent calendar. And it's a great way to start out with Earthy products.
Yeah, so tell us again if people want to go online. Of course, you can always come here to Marietta, come to the shop and meet the team. Smells amazing in here, so I recommend you do. But where online are you?
Earthylife.com.
Perfect. Earthylife.com. How good does it feel to have people come in here and kind of open their minds to, oh, maybe I shouldn't be using what I'm using now. Maybe I should use something that's a little bit better for my skin, and to see the results and the way it changes them.
They come in and they're usually a bit overwhelmed, but we are here to help them, and we send them home with all kinds of great products that they love.
Yeah. Can you tell us, I mean, using your own products, how has that impacted your life?
It's dramatically changed my life. So I have severe dry skin, and I've been able to cure my dry skin with all of our products.
Amazing. Well, I have dry skin. I have all kinds of skin issues. We've been talking about them this morning, so I'm very excited to try the soaps and the body scrubs and all kinds of stuff. Great to see you, Jen. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it.
It is my pleasure. And now, if you all will excuse me, I've already made one cologne, one body scent, and I've made a sugar scrub, and I think I'm going to do one of each again. So we'll see you next time.
Well, we appreciate Paul for that taping. I say that and emphasize it because you're about to see him in just a couple of seconds for Fox 5 News at noon. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.